What's going on, guys? JPP Duel here. Hope you guys are enjoying your weekend. And for today's matchup, we have an Adventure Springs versus a Sword Soul, with my opponent playing Sword Soul going first. Now, before the gameplay begins, some of you guys have been asking me on my Twitch chat and on my YouTube whether or not prank kits are still relevant in this meta. And my answer to all of that is yes, prank kits for me personally are still relevant. I am going to be using prank kits to climb to Diamond 1 this season as well, on one account at least, to show you guys it is relevant. Now, the nerf on the Enchantress being at 1 does not affect how I play prank kits, because I do play the Nemesis engine, and I've been playing the Nemesis engine since way back when Miamu got put at 1. So you could continuously recycle the Enchantress and Miamu and not worry about having to run out of those resources, and continuously put the token plus the Griffin on the field over and over and over. So that's my answer to you guys, along with the secret sauce of the Shadow Imprisoning Mirror, which goes extremely well into this meta. I can dominate meta with prank kits. So opponent is going first. He's gonna put the Moye on the field, show Vishuda, go token. He's gonna do full combo, and as you guys see my current hand, I have no way to interact with my opponent's combo whatsoever. He searches for Longyan, activates a Pot of D, draws 2 cards, activates Longyan, pitches an Ashina, gets a token, goes into a Barone, burns me for 1.2k with Longyan, sets down the card, ends his turn. Now, this is somewhat of a bad situation for me, because looking at my current hand, I should not be able to push past my opponent's board if this guy plays perfectly. Now, when I say perfectly, I mean he needs to negate the exact things that he has to negate, and which will kill my turn off. Let's see how the opponent does. Now, first of all, before I go into my turn, we have to think about this card. This card could be a blackout. Blackout means we are dead. Our turn is gone completely. Next turn, our opponent kills us, it's game over. That's what blackout means. If it's not blackout good, we could do a combo. If it's a call by the grave, then again, it is not good. I don't think we will be able to combo if that card turns out to be a call by the grave, but we'll see. If this card is Imperm or Forbidden Droplet, however, we don't care about it, because we have pranks in our hand and we can do full combo even if it negates one of our crucial cards on the field. We don't care about those being Forbidden Droplet or Impermanence. Now, another thing that comes down to it is this guy did not combo extend, meaning he did not use the circle, he did not use the vessel to combo extend. Granted, he had no Taya in his graveyard, but he still has 4 cards in his hand. That means this guy could have hand traps in his hand, and any hand trap could actually kill us if he utilizes the hand trap correctly. So we draw into an Ash Blossom, which is actually a really good top deck, because in case the opponent has a Maxx, we could Ash the Maxx. But again, the Barone can Omni the Ash, meaning that the Maxx goes through and we cannot go into our combo. Let's see how the opponent utilizes his hand traps and his negates on the field. We start off our turn by activating the Foolish Burial to try to bait out Ash Blossom or the Barone's Omni. Activate Enchantress, banish, search for right. So far so good. No Ash, no Barone negate. So again, if this guy had used the Barone on my Enchantress, or again on my Faithful Adventure that comes in the field from the activation of right, it would have been good. But let's talk about something over here. We'll see he's gonna be Omniing my activation of right. Let me tell you guys, if you guys are new to Yu-Gi-Oh itself, the difference between negating the activation of a card versus negating the effect of a card. Those are two entirely different concepts. Omni negate the activation of card, meaning that if a card says it's a hard once per turn, cards like the right, which is a hard once per turn, cards like in this meta, Branded Fusion, which is a hard once per turn. If you negate the activation itself and your opponent has another right or Branded Fusion in their hand, they could still activate another one, because for the game, since you negate the activation, it means the card never was activated, so the hard once per turn does not apply, versus negating the effects of a card. So if your opponent activates a Branded Fusion, let's say, you Ash Blossom it, you are negating the effect of a card, you're not negating the activation, so your opponent cannot activate another Branded Fusion again. Same thing applies with the right. If you negate the activation of right with an Omni, if your opponent has another right in their hand, they could activate it even though the it says it's a hard once per turn, but again, the activation is negated. So keep in mind, you usually do not want to blow your Omnis on the activation of right itself, because that could be a bait your opponent could be throwing at you, which will eat away your Omni. In this scenario, the opponent actually, even though he misplayed, it turned out to be a right play, never punished. We only had one right in our hand, so we just let it go. Then I activate the flag from my hand, target the Enchantress. We have a monster banished out, so flag can come on the field and recycle the Enchantress from the banishment pile. My opponent proceeds to instantly Maxx me. Now this is really good because he used the Baron's Omni on the activation of our rights. That means we could activate the Ash Blossom on our opponent's Maxx, and if this card is not called by the grave, it goes through. No call by, no cross out means the Ash goes through, Maxx negated. We could do full combo. Now over here particularly, this is where I don't know if the opponent meant to do this or not, but this was actually a really good play on my opponent's part, because looking at the current hand that I have, I could have killed my opponent this turn itself. Okay, I had enough gas in my hand to kill my opponent this turn itself, but him using the Grandmaster's negate on the flag, this flag would have been searching me for a corridor. Now if I go into my combo, I would be activating Roxy's from the graveyard, banishing out this Roxy's. That means the corridor would be activatable. I would be putting a Colossus on the field, and I would be going into my access code, which would have been game this turn itself. But this turned out to be, this would usually be a misplay of using Grandmaster on a flag search for corridor, but in this specific scenario, it saved my opponent the game. So the Grandmaster will be negating our flag search for corridor. Okay, that's whatever. We normal out our Dropsies, go off into our combo. So we go into Meowmoo, activate Graveyard, go Fansies, go into Doodle-Doo. We're going to chain block our Fan's activation with our Doodle-Doo. Turns out the card on the field face down set was an Imperm. This Imperm does not matter to us. Again, we did start with the Pranks in our hand. If you guys start with the Pranks or Pandemonium in your hand, anytime I tell you guys this, Imperm, Veiler, or Forbidden Droplet on your Doodle-Doo Surge does not matter to you. You just go into your second copy, you pitch whatever card you need to pitch with your Fansies, and with your second Doodle-Doo's Tribute, you get it back, you do full combo, it's all good. So this Doodle-Doo Surge, again, does not matter to us. It would have been good, yeah, but doesn't matter to us. So we pitch our Pandemonium, get Lampseas, we go into our second copy of Doodle-Doo, we activate Lampseas, burn for 5, get a Roxy's, tribute the second Doodle-Doo, get our Pandemonium plus a named Prankus monster from our graveyard into our hand. So you guys see, I still have full Butler combo, does not affect me. We activate Pranks, pitch our Lampseas, get a token, go off into our Bow Wow Bark. Activate the Roxy's, Roxy's banish the Roxy's from our hand, draw into a Forbidden Droplet. Now if right here I had drawn into a corridor, it would have been game over. If I had drawn into Instant Fusion, would have been game over. I had my outs to kill the opponent this turn itself, but sadly did not draw into it. But Forbidden Droplet, it's still a really good card for my opponent's turn as well. So as I told you guys, these 4 cards would have gone into access code. Access code would have popped these 2 cards. The Imperm was already out. Even if he had not popped the Imperm, I could have baited out the Imperm going into Unicorn and targeting the face down set, so he would have been forced to use the Imperm. And with these 4 cards would have been access code, the corridor on the field into Colossus, he's at 7.5k. The Colossus plus the access code would have been 7.9k damage, which would have been game. But again, the stupid play turned out to be a life-saving play on my opponent. So with this, I used the 2 cards I had on the field aside from the Bow Wow to go into Predaplant. Predaplant activates, we pitch our Thunder Dragon Fusion, we go off into our Butler. Now there's a reason why I'm going off into Butler, because I need to kill this Grandmaster off of the field, otherwise Butler only gets 1 pop coming up on our opponent's turn, because Grandmaster can negate the Butler and we'll have to use the Butler's pop again, sending it to the graveyard to wipe out the field. That way we only get 1 Butler pop. Also, this card from the field has to go before the opponent's standby phase. Why? Because he could bounce this card, target the Grandmaster, which I will be killing this turn, put it on the field, or he could target the Moye from the graveyard, put it on the field, and then Moye would be showing a worm type in his hand, getting a token. It would have been a whole hassle, because if he puts Moya on the field that way, he would still have his normal summon afterwards. So if I use my Butler pop, if he goes into normal summon afterwards and he has combo extension, it turns out to be whole another hassle as well. So we have to go into this route, and with the Bow Wow being on the field, that means we will be getting the Bow Wow pop on our opponent's turn, which will be making our Butler immune to destruction through card effects. So even if the Baronne stays on the field, he cannot activate Baronne to pop our Butler. So that way, we're safe from card destruction effects. We pop the opponent's Grandmaster, we set down our Forbidden, set down our Pandemonium, activate Pranks, recycle 3 cards, and that is the end of our turn. Drawing into Crossout, pretty dead for this turn, but whatever. So draw phase, obviously I told you guys, we have to pop the Baronne. We cannot allow the Baronne to stay on the field to be activated in the standby phase. So we use our Butler's first pop and pop the Baronne. My opponent activates Vishuddha from his hand, specials it out, and for some reason just scoops. He still had plays he could have made. He could have gone into the Monk of Tenny, he could have bounced my Butler, then he could have normaled out a card and gone into his combo, but I'm guessing he pretty much bricked or he had nothing else afterwards. That's why my opponent scooped. That's going to be it for today's game, guys. If you guys do enjoy this kind of videos, please consider hitting the like button, subbing to my channel for more daily prank and daily uploads. And if you guys are interested in a live version of all of this, I do live stream on Twitch, twitch.tv/jpbduel. Link along with my schedule and a link to my Discord will be in the video description as well for you guys to check out. This is JPBduel signing out for today. I'll be seeing you all in the next video. Peace!